So what do you think? Do you think Twitter and all these companies were right to ban
Uh,
the Trump account?
I mean, as you said, it's their own private platform, so they can do whatever they want. And, you know, at the same time, they knew, and like I said before, they knew when they put that guy in power. They brought him for a purpose. They had something to do. And, he did what he was supposed to do, but, as business change and goals and objective change, they no longer need him. So that's how they're getting rid of the guy.
But who put him here? Is it not the people, the voting? You don't believe in that?
No, no. I mean,
Because of where we come from.
as a true Congolese, listen,
As
power
somebody
is
who's
not
seen enough,
given to you. It's not earned. It's given to you
as
somewhere, somehow.
I think we have this is our PTSD. we've, we've seen too much of this world to be naive. But
Right?
well,
Hmm.
what about
I
you,
mean,
Master Electronic?
About the ban of Donald Trump on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
Yeah,
I think for me it's a little bit. I'm a little bit afraid of the freedom of speech. You know, I don't think the same things he did on Twitter, he didn't do that on Instagram. So being banned automatically in all of those platforms make me a little bit afraid of our way of thinking in the future.
I think that they Facebook banned him for another reason. I think it was because of the videos inciting people to riot, and the fact that and as a platform owner, if you have all these people saying those things on your platform, like let's say for example, and it's happened before, in this channel we start inciting people to go kill somebody, and let's say somebody from the Shada gang just go and kill his whole family because we've been telling all this time, yeah, you should do it if you want to be a real this is how you are a real person like us, and somebody does that. This channel disappears in the second everybody starts talking about this. Oh, look, this is yeah, the young Master Electronic was a member of the Shada gang, which is a group of school in YouTube on the channel owned by Kaysha, blah blah blah. Listen, your channel disappears in the second, and probably Twitter follows, and everybody follows because they're like, yep, it's not us. So I mean, I believe that when they were thinking about it, they were saying to themselves, yeah, but it's the president of the United States, and shouldn't we just remove that tweet? But I guess as it was becoming, and the symbolic of the people marching inside of the Capitol, destroying things and looking for the vice president to execute him. I think the symbolic of this made all these companies say like, nah. We don't want to be part of it. And okay, we remove this. The next thing you post, if it is violating our terms of services, like you've been doing for 4 years,
right.
let's because he's been doing it, but he was the president and you kind of don't know what to do. But now they're like, listen, he's only the president for 12 days, and with what just happened, I think we can do it. And I think they probably asked the lawyers, should we do it? And the lawyers were like, you should do it. And they did it. So
Yeah.
hey,
In that point, Kesha, I'm a little bit afraid because
Tony, you
of
have to unmute yourself. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, what's up, guys? Yeah, I'm just gonna mute myself so that I don't create any feedback.
I like the paintings in the back. Those are the
Nice.
yeah. That's how you recognize the rich Congolese people. Those paintings. I know because
know,
my dad has them too. I'm sure there's a Liolo sculpture somewhere as well. Look in the back. More art. I'm joking. Yeah. So who was talking about?
yeah,
But
it was
you know,
me.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm just a little afraid of those things coming up now because those big tech companies, yeah, they will take it like a point of départ, as they used to say it in French, to
yeah.
start banning other people without any reason. Like now
But
we
they,
are talking, they took down the other platform who Trump wasn't ever using. The
yeah,
platform name is Parler.
yeah,
The
yeah, yeah,
only
yeah, yeah,
people were using it's an open source platform. Amazon
yeah.
took it down for no reason.
Apple as
So
well. Oh, I think because there was a lot. I think they took it down because there was actually a lot of posts by people about executing the vice president. That's the reason that they used, because all these people, they just said, okay, we're leaving Twitter because you are taking our leader, so we are all going to Parler. Everybody said everybody go to Parler, so all of a sudden it just became a place. And I think as the that's the issue that Apple has had for a long time, as the platform owner, as the owner of the App Store, or as the owner of YouTube. You are Google. What do you accept on your platform? As
no,
long
you're right.
if you accept, like if Ben Laden was alive and he had a YouTube channel and he just came to his channel and told his people, yo, Paris 4 a.m. this street, let's go, and YouTube did nothing, it's and if it, when you remove Ben Laden from YouTube, or Mokhtar Ben Mokhtar, all these people, when you remove terrorists, everybody think it's normal. Everybody don't say, oh, what about their freedom of speech? When Facebook is used to create the Arab Springs or disrupt a government in Congo, everybody's like, yeah, well done for democracy. But what is strange to most people in the US and in Europe is that, yo, this is happening in America with an American president, but he has incited a riot which became an insurrection, and a policeman and 4 people died because of that. And now, as a platform, if you don't do nothing, people might ask you, so this
Which
is the
side are
leader of
you?
the terrorists. Like, he's the president of the United States, but he's also the guy who told all these people go in the streets. And look, me and Joel, we were born in Congo. We know that. We know these things. I remember the riots in the 90s, where everybody has to run away for 10 years and leave the house, leave the papers, leave everything. Some people were there telling people, yeah, go kill all the rich. And people were just running, thinking, you see what I mean? And so at a point, when you are the platform, because you are a private platform, you also risk all the liabilities of being the private platform, and having the law can come to you and tell, okay, Mr. Google, how come? And you're gonna have to pay a fine, or maybe you might go to prison because you let those people in your platforms. And it's funny that it is freedom of speech when it's Donald Trump, But when it's Al Qaeda, nobody cares about the freedom of speech. It's just like, oh, let's hang the nigger and just put him in the water, like, and like, you remember how the last thing Saddam Hussein said when they hang him? They hang him in public television, live, and we were all thinking it's normal. He's a bad guy.
There is a responsibility, Kaysha, and to all. It's like we forget that technology was invented by people, right? So they created algorithm and all that stuff, and they created it for a purpose, right? To connect people. And they said, hey, it's gonna bring goods by putting people together. Now, when you put that technology out there and it start having like negative consequences, somebody can come to me and say to my neighbors that I'm a rapist, for example. They say this guy is a rapist, and then my neighbors start looking at me as if I was a criminal, right? Well, all that information is false, right? The technology was not built for that. The technology was built to bring us together. But now it's being used in ways that people did not plan it would, right? So they cannot put their hands in the air and say we are not responsible, because now my neighbors can actually get all those lies 10 times faster than it could before. Now, the problem with the US is that who knows who's telling those guys what to do?
Yeah.
Who's telling them those lies? It might not be American groups. Could be somebody in Russia pretending to be whatever, and it becomes a national security problem. So you can organize a coup by Twitter.
Crazy.
And everybody can be on Twitter. Even in the cave in the Congo, you can actually start inventing stories and touch the White House. So think about it now and then say, what is the cost of responsibility, right? And that's, you sit down and you look at it and you wonder, where do we go? And then you said it, freedom of speech. Yes, that's what the states guarantee you, right? But that's a private business.
Yeah. And you know that I was watching this documentary on Netflix about the social media, the algorithm, and etc. Me, I remember, I'm Twitter user number 100,000 something. I was one of the first person on Twitter, because I was following them before when it was a company called they were trying to do an audio thing in the beginning, and then they changed it to create Twitter. So I was following their blog, and when it became Twitter, and I remember back then we had to send the SMS to tweet. It was a maximum of 140 characters in the beginning. So I was using Twitter in the beginning. Oh, I'm drinking coffee. Oh, I'm taking the plane. Oh, I'm about to do a show. Wish me luck. That was what Twitter was about. And it was more about, I remember that Jack, Ev, Bees, and the founders, they were so excited about the fact that, that the freedom of speech, everybody can speak, The news will not only come from the TV, it will come from somewhere else, etc. But in the beginning, it was just a platform about talking to each other. YouTube was a platform about putting videos of your cat, videos of your kids. Like back then, the first YouTube video is a video in a zoo by I forgot his name. His last name is Chan, and who was the creator of YouTube. And before they sell it to Google, it was also a platform where, you would just put your videos. You could not even have the quality that you have today. You could not do what we are doing today. And I remember I was posting it's always like business in my head. So I was posting my shows, I was posting vlogs, I was posting my music videos. But then there's a point when there was the earthquake in Haiti. When there was the earthquake in Haiti, the first people to talk about it and to start was Twitter. That's when Twitter changed, and Twitter became a source of information, and all the people on the ground who had no information and all the journalists who had no information would go to Twitter to look for information about things. And then that's when the Twitter start putting the hashtags and the thing, and that's when it starts changing. And then we decided one day, or the media decided, the people decided that Twitter now is where the facts are. And if anybody can come, listen, if 1,000 women just, let's say, I was about to say 1,000, but that's not true. I don't have that many exes. But if if the 7 women that I had a one night stand in my life just come from nowhere and say, oh, Kaysha did this to me, this is how it happened, and they all go on Twitter, for some reason it becomes the truth. And people don't care if it's true, if it's not, and they just cancel you. And you have to see how exactly what you were saying, Tony. Like, there were some people who built those places, not for the money in the beginning. They made a lot of money, of course, but they built it with a vision, maybe a dream of democracy for everybody, a voice for everybody, and it is a voice for everybody. Listen, Dalia wouldn't have a show if it wasn't for this platform. Joel wouldn't have a place to talk if it wasn't for it. I wouldn't do this if it wasn't for this platform. I would just be like everybody on quarantine, crying like everybody. I can be here and talk with, meet, create a community because of this platform. So this is the good. But the flip side is that a Nazi can do the same thing. Exactly. And the question here is, and it's the question Master Electronic is asking: who decides if you are good or if you are bad? Because if you take the point of view of the Nazis in the 40s, the people that the French people are calling the heroes of the resistance, they are terrorists for the other side.
On the perspective, yeah.
And you might even in some people in Africa or in the Arab world might see the Occident as invaders.
Right.
You in Iraq, you living your life. It's not great, but it's okay. And these people come with bombs, missiles, like it's written democracy. What you mean?